What is going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. Hope you're all doing super duper well. There were some big changes to Mistweaver Monk in the latest patch, 10.2.6. We've all been distracted with the Plunder Storm, and fair enough, it is a lot of fun. But let's take a look really quickly at the Mistweaver changes that came through. And there's like, they just added some talents just randomly to our tree, which is kind of insane. And then changed the point value on a couple of other ones, and then buffed one other one. So we now get Dance of Chi-Ji. Your spells and abilities have a chance to make your next spinning crane kick deal 300% additional damage. That is the exact same as the Windwalker one. So just straight up, we get Dance of Chi-Ji, and there's some really important points I'll make about this in a second. Peer into Peace, this is brand new. 5% of your overhealing done onto targets with Soothing Mist is spread to 3 nearby injured allies. Soothing Mist now follows the target of your Enveloping Mist or Vivify, and its channel time is increased by 4 seconds. So it's this last part's a little bit strange. I don't quite understand what it's saying there. We'll channel it in a second, but bottom line is this is an interesting idea. Soothing Mist does tend to overheal quite a bit because it's like you're only really taking it in raid, right? That's what you're using primarily, and then you can now have it splashing its overhealing onto 3 nearby injured allies. So it's just going to make the spell a little bit more efficient. It's not a huge deal. I'll show you in a second. Resplendent Mist got buffed by 50%. So your Gusts of Mist, instead of doing 50% or 100% more healing, they have a chance to do 75 to 150% more healing, depending on how many points you put in. Peaceful Mending is now a 1-point talent that increases the healing allies receive from Enveloping Mist and Renewing Mist by 40% while Soothing Mist is active. That's on that one target, not on all allies. Just the one ally you're actually hitting with Soothing Mist, they get 40% more. So it was 50% with 2 points. Now it's 40% with 1 point. That's way better. Just a straight up buff for sure, because it's not really a talent that we were taking anyway, but now you might be incentivized to take it because it's only a 1-point talent, and it also gives you access down to Tear of Morning and Rising Mist, so it might be something to think about now. But let's start at the top. Let me do the spinning crane kick stuff in a second. I want to show you on the dummies, but we'll just look at Peer into Peace just to start out with. I'm not really sure what to make of this thing. I would say that it's a little bit more efficient in terms of raid healing when you're spamming your Soothing Mist. Now, of course, your Jade Serpent is going to spam Soothing Mist as well, which means you might get a lot of overhealing. And what this ends up being is that your overhealing will splash onto other people. This is the splash right here. So I'm getting healed. I'm at full health, so it's overhealing. 5% of the overhealing is going to these guys over here, which you can see the numbers aren't that big. It's not really that big of a deal. If we look at the numbers here, my Peer into Peace is 307k. Like, it's not bad. 1 second here. Let's just keep doing this. It's not terrible. You can see it going up here, but, like, Unison is doing more by itself, and then Chi Harmony is almost catching up. It's not meant to, like, be anything massive. It's just meant to give you a little bit more efficiency when you're channeling Soothing Mist, so that if you happen to be channeling into somebody that has full health already, a lot of that is going to be pumping into other allies. And because your Jade Serpent statue also channels where you channel, you're very, very likely to overheal, which means you're going to be splashing onto nearby allies. The big part about this, actually, that I think is the most important thing to look at is the very last part of the second paragraph, which says your channel time goes up by 4 seconds. That's kind of huge, actually. So now with one cast, I spend, I can sit here for 13 seconds instead of 9, right? What is it? It's 9 seconds normally. Now we get 13 seconds. So that's actually a pretty good quality of life, right? If you think about, you know, you press Yu'lon and you spread your envelopings around, right? And then you're going to start spamming with Vivify, and you want this Soothing Mist to last as long as possible so that you can spam more Vivifies, right? Now you can do that for longer. That's the big, to me, that's the biggest part of Peer into Peace. The overhealing is fine. It might end up giving you like 1 to 3% more healing overall. I don't really entirely know. I haven't been able to jump into a raid and try it out. I was going to last this Tuesday, but we ended up having plans change. So It might be okay, but it's not going to be that much healing. But really, the big thing in my mind is that you get to channel for longer. That's pretty cool. Again, we have Peaceful Morning. Allies targeted by Soothing Mist receive 40% more healing from your Enveloping Mist and Renewing Mist effects. Again, this used to be 2 points. It's now 1. The biggest thing about this, I think, is that you get down to Tear of Morning. You don't have to take Shaylin's Gift at all if you don't want to, and you can get all the way down to Tear of Morning without having to go through Misty Peak. So you have a 1-point node that gets you down to this choice node that is not, Veil of Pride, Shout House Lesson. So I'm not saying taking Shaylin's Gift is bad. You can still take it. I'm just saying this opens up a new path for you, which is kind of cool. It's going to save you some talent points there. You could even just go from Shaylin's Gift over to here if you want. I mean, there's lots of options there. So that's also pretty cool as well. This got buffed, Resplendent Mist. Remember, this used to be 25 and then, or 50 and then 100, and now it's 75 and 150. So a pretty big buff. They literally increased it by 50%, which is pretty cool. Now, I don't think anybody was really taking this. You could try to take it in a raid. Gusts of Mist is not that bad. You get Gusts of Mist from Yu'lon and from Chi-Ji, by the way. Chi-Ji kicks up a bunch of Gusts of Mists whenever you heal people. So summon an effigy of Chi-Ji, kicks up a Gust of Mist when you Black Hill Kick, Rising Sun Kick, or Spinning Crane Kick. So you could take this in combo with Chi-Ji now and just do a bunch of spinning. I mean, there's not really... You don't have 2 points in the bottom of the tree to take with this. This is the problem with some of these talents, is that they're all in the bottom of the freaking tree. This new one is here. This new one is here. This got changed, which is good. But, like, they're all in the bottom section. I don't have enough points to get everything that I want to get, which is a little bit frustrating at times. But that's just the way it is. So let's do this into this. Here's the new option over here. Also, the last thing about Peer into Peace is that it gives you access to the T talents, which, again, nobody takes right now. But if you were doing a raid build, you could potentially go into one of these Ts. T of Serenity would probably be the raid one, because you have a 1-point node in front of it that you would not normally have access to, because you're not going to go through Resplendent Mist because it costs 2 points. And in raid, you're not typically taking Jadefire Stomp. So this does give you access to the T talents. Whether or not you're going to take them or not, I don't know. Nobody takes them right now because it's probably just a bit of an overkill in some ways. Like Thunder Focus T also empowering an additional Renewing Mist, Enveloping Mist, or Vivify. Those are great, but it's just, I don't know. It's a little bit of an overkill probably. Maybe in raid, there's a case to be made where you could do this, and let's say you go down here and get Unison again. How do I get? Let's get rid of this. We'll take Unison again. There we go. There's my build, right? I'd have to probably get rid of Tear Morning to get Invokers. So let's say it's something like this. Then you could get this T, and then you could get, hopefully you could get those 2 Renewing Mists, but it's random what you're going to get. So I don't know if these are ever going to get taken because it's random. That is the big problem with it, unfortunately. Okay, let's switch over to these other talents here. Get rid of this. What will we take instead? This one here, Rising Mist. So here's your, Mythic Plus setup, right? And you've got Dance of Chi-Ji here now, and this is pretty good. Now, the cool thing about Dance of Chi-Ji that you have to remember is that if you have your Ancient Teachings and Teachings of the Monastery, actually, it's just the Jadefire stuff that does this. Your Spinning Crane Kick will heal allies, right? So here it is, Awaken Jadefire. While within your Jadefire Stomp, your Spinning Crane Kick heals 3 nearby allies for 70% of the damage that it deals. So it's all about how much damage can you make your Jadefire or your Spinning Crane Kick do. If it does 300% more damage, it's going to do 300% more healing. And that is really critical. You're double dipping there with this talent. So this talent, the Chi-Ji one, it will proc off of any damage that you deal or any healing that you deal, and it makes the exact same noise that the Windwalker one does. It has that little noise. You're going to hear it in a second here. But there it is right there. I just got it, and I just used it. So that was pretty quick. I'll just go back. There. And it does do, it lights up as well. So it's pretty good. You can see here we're pumping 137k DPS and about 230k HPS. I had Restoral here instead of Revival because I was in raids. I felt like a bit of a dummy, but it doesn't matter. I was curious about the proc rate on this thing, and from what I can gather, there's a proc right there. You can get back-to-back procs. Spinning Crane Kick There it is right there. I got another one right there. There's 2 in a row. That's pretty lucky. But on average, I was noticing I got 1 proc every 30 seconds or so. That was the average that I was getting. Sometimes it was like back-to-back. I got kind of lucky. But more often than not, it was like once every 30 seconds. That guy died, unfortunately. I think he was just getting ravenously eaten alive by these snapdragons and wasn't doing anything about it. But I should have probably healed him. There's a proc. There's a back-to-back proc right there. Boom, boom. So, again, the healing from it can actually be substantial because the damage from it is substantial. And that is, like, really, really nice. And, again, it procs off healing right there. You saw it. Let's go back. So I'm going to dash it here. I'm going to press Renewing Mist once. I'm going to press Renewing Mist again. And then it procs. So the fact that it procs off of damage and healing is pretty interesting. I don't think that it procs off of, like, it doesn't proc off of the free healing that you are doing when you're dealing damage. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to actually press an ability, press a healing spell or a damaging spell. If you do that, it has a chance to proc. But I was pretty happy with the proc rate in the testing that I was able to do. Here's another big pack here. Again, this is what you want to be doing here is just Jade Fire stomping and spinning anyway. And you're going to do lots of healing except for that guy. And I don't know if he pulled aggro. Maybe that was me. Look at how fast he does. Is there something I could do about this? Watch Danzer. And he's half health and dead. Like, if I got him in that split second, I probably could have saved him. But anyway, whatever. There's a proc on Chi-Ji. And again, Jade Fire Stomp and Spin. It does reinforce that playstyle quite a bit. You can see our damage is pretty good. 175k is not bad at all. That's fine. You can do that on, like, every pack, basically. That's why it's so good. So, yeah, the proc rate was good. The damage that it gave was good. And then, of course, the healing that we get is really good. You could combo it with Chi-Ji, of course. And it's just a great combo because Chi-Ji's going to give you the Enveloping Mist proc eventually, and Chi-Ji's kicking up a bunch of Gusts of Mist whenever you're spinning. So I was pretty impressed with Dance of Chi-Ji, not going to lie. I think it's actually quite strong. And I think the only problem is that in Mythic Plus, you're going to have to give up something else. Again, all these talents are at the bottom of the tree, so you must give up something. Are you going to give up Legacy of Wisdom? Are you going to give up Rising Mist? Definitely not, I would say. So you either have to give up Legacy of Wisdom, from what I'm sort of gathering here. Either give up Legacy of Wisdom, or you give up your Focus Thunder and take Legacy. That's the other option. I think that Focus Thunder is better than Legacy, but I wonder what you guys think about that. Oh, I have the wrong cooldown. It doesn't really matter, but this is what it would kind of look like. I wonder what you guys think. You can't get rid of, Yu'lon's Whisper. I just like Yu'lon's Whisper. I know this should probably go somewhere else, but you could take Zen Pulse, whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter what you're doing up here. We're talking about just this bottom section of the tree. You are really kind of hamstrung into what talents you can take. You have to take Gift of the Celestials. You have to take Ancient Teachings. You have to take Jade Fire, Ancient, and Awakened. And then the question becomes, do you take Shaylin's Gift at all now? Maybe you go into this, and you have Rising Mist, then you have another point to play with. You could put a point somewhere else if you just don't take Shaylin's Gift at all. That could be a choice, but that seems like a bad choice to me because it's such a strong cooldown, and there isn't really an amazing option. You could take the first point in Resplendent Mist, but that feels a little bit weak. You could take one of the T's. They're kind of random. I think ideally you're probably looking at getting to Veil of Pride with Shaylin's Gift, and then you're dropping Legacy Wisdom. I think that's the best choice if you really want to get Dance of Chi-Ji. So it's up to you. I don't know if they'll play around with this in the future. I don't know that this effect is so powerful that it deserves to be in the bottom of the tree and then forcing us to make sort of other decisions. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about Dance of Chi-Ji in particular? What do you think about any of the talents that have changed? Remember, 1 point on Peaceful Morning. Resplendent Mist basically got a 50% buff. There's a new Peer into Peace, which is kind of maybe okay in Raid, not really sure. And then we've got the Dance of Chi-Ji change. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear from all of you. Those are the big changes. They all seem kind of whatever right now. Not in love with any of them in particular, but I would love to hear your experience if you've tried some of these in the Raid. In particular, Peer into Peace. I would love to hear if you guys have tried that in the Raid, and if it's pretty good. That would be kind of cool to hear. So thank you so much again for watching. Love you guys. I will see you in the next one.